June 23rd. What fresh hell awaits me tonight? This has been the most stressful couple of days I've had. I guess somebody up there is making me work hard for my money. So far, tonight has been gleefully uneventful. Thank God. Maybe I can rest easy and just do an average night's work. Knock on wood. Vivian came in a little late tonight, but I don't think Mr. Gilbert noticed this time. When I went to clock in, he reeked of booze. And he wasn't too friendly tonight either. When I told him I was here, he just grunted, "Get to work," and went back to hitting the bottle. I guess managing a hotel isn't an easy business. It takes a mental toll on you. I feel bad for the guy, but he could try to be a little more friendly. Off to work I go for now. June 23rd. Continued. Break time. And what a wonderful break time it is. I finally got to do what my original job description entails. Sit at the front desk and answer the phone. I think I'm a little bored tonight. There's no excitement. I managed to get in a few more words with Vivian tonight. She's a pretty rad chick once you get to know her. She's a little quiet at first, but all in all, very good listener. Funny thing is, we went to the same school, but she's a little older than me, maybe by 4.5 years. I think maybe she just graduated before I got there. I figured maybe I would ask her what she's heard about the place. That didn't quite go as well as I hoped, though. She just said that she wasn't much for ghost stories and didn't go in for that sort of thing. I figured it might be better just to change the subject. Without thinking, I just blurted out the first thing that entered my mind. How about that Mr. Gilbert, huh? He can be a real hard-ass sometimes. The air in the room went from warm and inviting to tense and chilly. She glanced down at the floor. What are you gonna do? Bosses are crap, am I right? True, I answered back. But I heard the way he speaks to you. Why do you put up with it? If someone gave me crap for taking care of my kid, that would be it. Where else am I gonna go? I'm stuck here. That's all she said, just like that. No feeling in her voice. I feel so bad for this poor girl. I can't imagine feeling trapped like that with no way out. It must be hell. There must be something you can do, I asserted. Why don't you just quit? Would you help me? I didn't quite understand what she meant. Would you help me get out of here? Go find a better place? Okay. Isn't this something you can do personally, though? Suddenly, Mr. Gilbert was coming back from wherever he was. That was the end of that. She shushed me and took off for the restroom. She didn't like to be in the same room with him if she could help it. I was surprised he didn't ask what I was up to by myself. He just asked if everything was okay and went back to whatever he was doing. He's in the back office right now. I don't think he was feeling too well. All his drinking must have finally hit him hard. I haven't heard a peep from him. June 24th. That was fun while it lasted, but it wasn't meant to be, I suppose. I guess asking for multiple nights in a row of unvarying work was too much to hope for. Anything that can go wrong has. I don't know about ghosts. I've yet to see one. But I certainly wouldn't be surprised if there was a hex on this place. Maybe the rumors from the school got it all wrong. This place is cursed, not haunted. The kicker was this newlywed couple that came running out of the elevator in hysterics. The man was dressed like the sorriest excuse of a police officer I have ever seen, and the woman had on a practically see-through nightgown and undergarments of the edible variety. They claimed they were sleeping when the wife slipped out of bed. Her wrists were swollen like gnawed-up chewing gum, and her eyes were black as the moonless night. I highly doubt anyone goes to sleep dressed like they were. And who among us who isn't 80 years old bruises up like that from falling a few inches out of bed? Mr. Gilbert barked at me to go upstairs and check out the room, as if Vivian and I didn't have enough on our plates. She was busy with the real glamorous work, cleaning up after someone who came in drunk off their ass and couldn't make it into the bathroom. When the newlywed couple and I made it to their room, it was just as I thought. An alien from outer space could deduce that no one in this room had been sleeping. The bed had looked like a tornado hit it, the sheets were wet and stained by the complimentary bottle of champagne given out to the newly arrived happy couples, and a small dent lay embedded in the ceiling with bits of plaster trickling down. My guess was from popping the cork. I sighed as I held out my clipboard and started filling out the incident report. Okay, I asked. Do you guys want to tell me one more time what happened here? I told you we were... Yeah, I know. Sleeping, I interjected as I finished filling out the report. To tell you the truth, I'd rather not even know, I continued. Thanks for giving us your contact information. A hotel representative will be in touch with you guys in a couple of days. I turned out of the room and didn't look back. Who knows what I might have seen if I had looked more thoroughly. After winding around a few turns of the cold, narrow, dimly lit hallway, I came upon the elevator. An odd mixture of anxiety and melancholy permeated the air as I waited for the ride down. It was hard to explain, but it was like someone was waiting with me for the elevator. Like a presence that just wanted company and didn't want to be alone. It didn't feel threatening, but it would have creeped me out less if they tried to give me some sort of sign instead of just being present. I recoiled in shock when the long-standing elevator door skidded open. Boo! Vivian sprang forward from the inside and took small, calculated steps toward me. This wearisome attempt at playfulness was uncalled for. There's a time and a place for this sort of thing, and I'd rather not have the daylight scared out of me in the middle of a busy shift. Geez, Vivian, you scared me half to death, I protested. I've been looking for you. What's going on? What hasn't been going on? I complained. I just got through with another incident report. How about you? How are things downstairs? That's actually what I wanted to ask you, she explained. Do you know where Mr. Gilbert is? I was looking all over for him. Phones were ringing in the lobby and neither you or him were there. Oh, great. She just left the phones ringing to come find me. Mr. Gilbert was going to be pissed. As much as I don't like his personality sometimes, I can kind of understand where his hostility comes from. Vivian is a great chick, but she just has a real knack for not getting anything accomplished. I don't know. He told me to come up here, and I've been busy dealing with the wacky honeymooners from hell ever since. I massaged my weary, weighty eyelids and thought harder. I think he was heading towards the kitchen the last I heard. I think the chef cut their finger on a knife or something, and now they've got a big problem. This night has been hell. She looked me dead square in the face. It was the first time we locked eyes. I never noticed how beautiful they were before, like a painting. One that had faded over the years and didn't have that look anymore. These were the eyes of an old soul. You're right, she said. I know. Now we gotta go back downstairs before Mr. Gilbert has it in for both of us. No, that's not what I mean. I mean you were right before. It's time I go somewhere else. Find someplace better. It's time he knows. She couldn't possibly be serious. She had to pick tonight of all nights to quit. Damn it. I'm sorry, but this time I'm with Mr. Gilbert. Take some responsibility and don't just quit and leave everyone else hanging. What is she thinking? June 24th. Continued. Vivian is gone now, and I haven't seen her since the elevator. I guess she left now. I haven't seen Mr. Gilbert for a while. I checked the kitchen thinking maybe he still hadn't wrapped things up over there. The light was on and the freezer was open a crack, but that's about it. I closed up and shut everything down in there for him. He'd kill me if I let food go bad, if he had the energy after killing Vivian for her abrupt exit. On one hand, I'm pissed she just took off and left me. But on the other hand, I'm kind of glad that I inspired her to move on in life. Well, another day, another dollar. I'll miss you, Vivian. It was nice getting to know you. June 25th. Some light background information. This particular entry had to be logged on separate paper when I originally handwrote it. After you read it, you'll understand why. Oh my God, what have I done? There was no one in there. I didn't hear anything, not a peep. How didn't I see anything? There was a horrible accident. I showed up to work today and a different manager was there. Mr. Gilbert was found dead this morning, frozen to death after being locked in the freezer. I've been at the police station from 9 o'clock this morning until about 8:30 p.m. Since I was the only one on the front desk duty when it happened, they had a flurry of questions for me. A note was found left behind at the hotel, addressed to me. I must have never seen it last night. It read, "There once was a woman trapped in a freezer. Ignoring her pleas, he did not release her. Growing colder and colder, she could see her breath and died slow and icy death. Despite his crimes of ignorance, he had no shame. He will only learn if his fate is the same. The sins of the father must be repaid. Do your research and you will find your proof, convicting the one who was ever aloof. You looked upon my situation with much pity, and now I've found a way for you to help me. Trust what I say and do, not bat an eye. This man is certainly not a good guy. You must strike now, it is prime time. Hurry and return to the scene of that crime. There is only so much I can do, and the rest is to fall upon you. He will beg and plead and scream and shout, but you mustn't ever let him out." Congratulations, Mike. You spent your time here investigating legends. Now you have the honor of being part of a real one. Thanks for sticking around as long as you did. Signed, Vivian Gilbert. That was the first time I ever heard her last name. I had no clue she was Mr. Gilbert's daughter. What the police told me next really threw me for a loop. They were insistent the note couldn't have come from her, because she had been dead for the previous 10 years at the time. She and her unborn baby boy froze to death after she had wandered, and I use the term wandered loosely, into the freezer. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. She couldn't have been dead. I am 99% sure I heard Mr. Gilbert talking to her. It was all a bad dream. It had to be. But I wasn't waking up. The police took handwriting samples and were able to determine that it wasn't me who wrote the note. So there was someone else in the hotel lobby besides me. Who was it really, though? End of journal entries. I never returned to work after that. The police interviewed everyone they possibly could. Other hotel guests, staff members for other shifts, but nothing ever panned out. Most of the security footage was mysteriously never captured from that evening. Just a small portion of Mr. Gilbert staggering into the freezer and me nonchalantly closing it up. His death would go on to be ruled accidental and I would be cleared of any wrongdoing. Some of the security footage from other nights would go on to be reviewed, but never revealed anything new. I could always be seen talking to someone who was just out of frame of the camera. In case you're wondering, I did look her up as the note suggested. The first thing that the computer spit back at me was an old news article about a young pregnant woman found dead after a suspicious accident at the Starlight Hotel. There was even a picture attached. Distressing as it may be, I recognized the person in the photo all too well. And I think I inadvertently helped her condemn her father to the same fate she had suffered by his hand. Thank you for listening to this story. If you'd like to hear me read more stories, why not press the subscribe button? If you liked tonight's story, why not share some love with the author? Videos like this one aren't possible without these talented authors. It's the first link in the description.